You feel it, don't you? Old thought forms rising, but not to consume you, but because your ancestors have finally met its alchemist. You are clearing what they could only carry. And I'm seeing this as love that's been withheld actually points directly to pain that you've carried from lifetime to lifetime. Because you're composed up of trillions of cells, right? This organism in which you've incarnated into is an interface between the worlds of the form and the formlessness. Within the center of the cell, we have something called the nucleus. Let me see if I can find it. We literally have the cell card at the top here. It's perfect. So at the center of the cell, you have the nucleus, right? And this card literally talks about the key to success. And I'm seeing this as you being a key to move freely between realms. And when I talk about realms, you're in this world, but you have the potential as a multidimensional being to shift into an alternate perspective. I'm hearing an alternate version of thinking and feeling about your life on Earth. And that leads to you being in this world, but experiencing a completely different version of it because your ancestors are continuing to experience life through you. You're composed up of the cells of the ancestors. And I'm also seeing it as quantum healing that's taking place because you're pulling forward this one body of consciousness, and your ancestors are ascending through you. They're ascending through your higher ways of thinking about your life, your higher ways of feeling about your life and relating to your journey on Earth, particularly emotionally. And I'm hearing the interconnectedness that you have to your soul's intentions for this life and actually being able to honor that. Okay? And you're clearing everything that has been holding you back, and also where you've held yourself back from fully being able to express. I'm hearing your highest modalities. Okay, your highest modalities. Let's dissect that for a minute. Okay, modality is like really, really strong. Okay, let's define the exact meaning of modality. A modality is a method, form, or way in which something happens or is experienced. It's a method, form, or way which something happens or is experienced. In healing terms, it's a transformation or self-development. Yeah, it's a method of working with energy or the body or consciousness itself. It's like a treatment, but it's something therapeutic. There's some type of you're a generational healer. You're healing everything that you couldn't before. And you're doing it in this lifetime. And to heal is to integrate is to become whole. It's just super beautiful. Anyway, we're going on a whole side quest, but the whole point of today's message is we're going to talk about ancestral thought forms, what they are, how to clear them, and we're gonna do a deep dive today. Okay, we're gonna do a deep dive. We're just gonna scratch the surface, but also dive in deep and then come up, and then hopefully we're gonna be able to evolve this into another perspective. But this is gonna be the foundation of this whole subject and how that construct works. So a thought form is not just a thought, it is information, the meaning, the emotion, which is a very particular charge, the sensation, which is the body's reaction, the bioelectrical imprint, which is what gets stored within the body. And your body is always speaking to you, right? Your body holds cells. What is at the center of the cell? The nucleus. What is within the nucleus? The DNA. What is within DNA? Memory. The memory of your ancestors continuously expresses itself through you. They continue to experience themselves through your choices. Now, I'm also seeing a wound around survival and navigating this construct through the lens of survival. And that octave of self does the best that it knows how with the information that it has. But this is about you not allowing the unconscious to guide your life and you just call things fate. I'm seeing that, okay? Also, your ancestors see something now that they couldn't before, because at times of crisis, or during the afterlife, when the soul implodes and leaves the body and begins to navigate alternate realms, they actually begin to look at their life on earth from the Akashic standpoint, which is everything. It's the memory of the earth. It's about how timelines could have gone. It's the interconnected database that stores a living memory of all living organisms from the past, present, and future simultaneously. So this is about where your fear can actually become your biggest barrier, literally blocking you off from so many other timelines that were accessible for you to experience. You're coming into that remembrance while inside of the system, okay? That's what's different around you, about you, okay, or around you. Maybe there's something different in your field around you because you've come into that remembrance and you're beginning to see that you're following your heart's desires and the universe is revealing its mysteries to you. So, back to thought forms, right? A thought form becomes a structure when the emotional charge is not completed. It solidifies into the system like crystallized electricity. This is what keeps people stuck, repeating the same patterns again and again. It's not just mental, this is the energetic architecture that has been reinforced and has now manifested into the physical. It can manifest into physical ailments. How it stores itself within the body is when an emotion isn't fully processed. It stores within, firstly, the fascia. The fascia tightens and contracts. It holds the memory as tension or density. This is why emotional memories feel in the body. Fascia is essentially liquid light tissue and it stores your memory. The next place this stores is your nervous system. And the nervous system creates these predictable loops of trigger, reaction, and then this biochemical flood that becomes a default pathway. The body reacts before the mind does. This is why certain emotions feel automatic. This leads us into hormones and biochemistry because unprocessed emotions begin to change things like our cortisol cycle, our dopamine patterns, hormone signaling, and our organ function. This is why emotional repression leads to things like depression or anxiety or inflammation or even autoimmune type of symptoms. It's because emotion is energy in motion and it wants to go somewhere. When it gets stuck within the body, it creates this dis-ease, right? Dis-ease within the mind leads to dis-ease within the body. And that is actually designed to be a temporary sensation when we talk about emotions. We're here to feel the full range of human emotion, but also gather the information behind it. What is our body telling us? What is our body speaking to us? And are we listening to what we are being informed on? We can also talk about the bioelectrical field because unprocessed emotions become static, congested, they leak and distort the auric layers. This is what creates self-parasitic loops, emotional addictions, and repeating timelines. The Merkaba is your energy engine. It begins spinning outwardly instead of inwards, and energy drains rather than recirculates. This leads us into the DNA. This is the part that most people miss because when you suppress emotion, you interrupt the communication of DNA. Emotions are your instruction set for how the body should reorganize. Avoiding emotions leads to scrambled instructions. This is why people feel disconnected or numb or lost or like they don't belong here. And it's not psychological, it's blocked DNA signaling. This is the exact process of how to alchemize thought forms that have become crystallized within your field. And it all starts with returning back to the body because you cannot alchemize something when you are dissociated. Come back to your breath, your sensation, the weight of your body, the awareness of your heart space. This lowers the nervous system into regulation so that your system opens, because the higher self does not want to be anchored into this avatar when it's holding on to so much density. It wants to be free, and in order to become your higher self in physical form and anchor the higher self throughout your entire organism, you must allow yourself to become that conduit for the higher intelligence within you to assist you in being able to navigate your internal worlds. The second step is non-judgmental observation. This is where you enter into the 0 point. You shift from I am the emotion to I am the observer of sensation. This breaks identification. It instantaneously collapses the energetic structure, and this is the moment where alchemy begins. It's because you remember yourself as not the emotion or the sensation. You feel it, but then you also observe it as you remember yourself as the awareness behind the sensation, experiencing it all, but you're also none of it simultaneously. That's what the 0 point is. The third step is to allow the emotion to complete, because emotion is energy in motion. And when it's not allowed to move, it becomes a trauma loop. So the key is to let the sensation run its natural cycle without controlling it. You don't need to add meaning. You don't need to analyze. Just feel the sensation, breathe, and stay with it. When the energy completes, the system discharges and then it reorganizes. Step 4 is to retrieve the information behind your emotion, because every emotion comes with a piece of information. Connect with your body and ask, what are you trying to tell me? What do I need right now? What belief is attached to this? This turns emotional sensitivity into emotional intelligence, and the system rewrites itself in real time. Sit with your body and notice what it's telling you. There may be certain uncomfortable sensations that arise, and you are able to locate if there is a contraction in one of your chakras and read the information behind it. When the body speaks, it does so through these energy centers. Each contraction or sensation is a message, a memory, or a thought form surfacing so the system can rewrite itself in real time. The root chakra is at the base of your spine, and the contraction feels like this heaviness or pressure or numbness, an instability or dropping sensation. The themes that surface will be around survival, fear, instability, money stress, the sense of belonging, perhaps a fear of worst case scenarios, or things being illuminated around ancestral trauma, around safety. This is where you ask yourself, where do I feel unsafe or unsupported? What survival belief is trying to replay? Is this threat real or inherited? Or what pattern keeps returning around security or stability? When decoded, the body reestablishes foundation and presence. The sacral chakra is in your lower belly. The contraction feels like knots or emotional waves, this craving or avoidance, tight hips or shame tension. The themes that this will reveal to you are things like emotional repression, attachment wounds, things like creativity blocks or shame, or perhaps fear of intimacy. You might even see old relational patterns surfacing. This is an opportunity, an invitation to ask what emotion is trying to rise that I keep pushing down. Where have I felt creatively blocked or stifled? What relationship pattern is repeating? Or what part of me wants permission to feel? When decoded, your emotional body opens and your self-expression returns. Your solar plexus is in your upper belly. A contraction here could feel like tightening or burning, dropping, nausea or heat. This will reveal to you themes in your life around resentment or insecurity, self-doubt, maybe even a fear of visibility or perfectionism. Also a profound fear of being judged. This is an invitation for you to ask, what theme has been reoccurring? Or where am I giving my power away? What belief about myself is being triggered? And it's an opportunity to ask, is this mine or ancestral? Is this the memory of my ancestors that I still carry with me to the present day? Naming the theme dissolves the loop, and awareness restores your sovereignty. The heart chakra is in the center of the chest, and a contraction here may feel like a pressure or a profound sadness. This hollowing, maybe tight ribs, or an ache. This will reveal themes to you around grief, abandonment wounds that you may carry, a deep disappointment. It could be revealing where you close off from receiving, perhaps a conflict between compassion and boundaries. This is an invitation to ask, what hurt is resurfacing that I haven't allowed myself to feel? Or where have I been overgiving? What expectation or hope was unmet? And what reoccurring relational theme is asking to be released? Opening here restores coherence and compassion without self-abandonment. This is a moment where you understand your vulnerability to sit with yourself and be intimate with yourself in this way is a strength. The throat chakra is in the center of your neck, and a contraction here could feel like a lump in the throat or this tightening. You could experience a difficulty speaking or even this choking sensation. Themes here are going to reveal ancestral wounds around silence, maybe being silenced or holding truth in. There could be a fear of rejection or not wanting to disappoint others. So instead you self-censor. There will be an ancestral suppression of the voice and your authenticity. This is an invitation to ask, what truth am I afraid to speak? Where am I shrinking to keep the peace? Or which thought is asking to be expressed? What conversation or boundary theme keeps repeating? Releasing this restores clarity, honesty, and self-expression. Next, we have the third eye, and this is between your eyebrows. A contraction here may feel like tension or fogginess. You may even get a headache or this deep pressure and scattered focus. This is going to reveal to you themes around confusion, intrusive thoughts, these mental loops or lack of clarity that you experience in your life. You may even feel yourself being pulled into old timelines. There will be a distortion from past or ancestral thought forms that will begin to resurface. This is an invitation to ask yourself, what story am I replaying that no longer fits? What fear is clouding my vision? What thought form is trying to be acknowledged and cleared? What pattern in my perception repeats itself? Clarity returns when the mind is observed and not fused with. Let's talk about the last 7 of the chakras, which is the crown, and this will be at the top of the head. A contraction here may feel like pressure or this disconnection. You may feel numb or disorientated. This is going to reveal themes of this disconnection from source, an existential doubt, or a collapse in faith. You may experience overthinking around spiritual issues or resisting your own internal guidance, as you may just feel cut off. This is an invitation to ask yourself, where am I trying to control instead of trust? What recent theme has challenged my faith? Where am I forgetting my interconnectedness? What belief is blocking my openness to guidance? Here, expansion returns when you surrender the tight grip of mental control. When you put it all together, every contraction is not a threat, but it's information, a message, a memory, or a pattern rising for resolution. When you meet this sensation with curiosity, your energy unwinds, your belief systems dissolve, and your system reprograms instantly. Step 5 is to repattern the behavior, because after the emotion completes and the information is retrieved, you can choose a new action. This is the most important part. If you feel the emotion but take the same action, you reinforce the old file. If you feel the emotion and choose differently, you create a new timeline. This is exactly how you break ancestral patterns. Step 6 is to integrate. It's the recirculation of energy. When the nervous system relaxes and the fascia opens, the Merkaba begins spinning inwardly and your life force returns. You'll feel your pineal gland activate as your heart becomes coherent and your DNA recommunicates. This is alchemy. This is turning dense matter into light, fear into information, confusion into clarity, and fragmentation back into wholeness. This is the path of the divine feminine returning to order. This is embodiment, intuition, feeling, stillness, and merging with that inner union. Every sensation is a doorway. Every contraction is a messenger. Every time you choose awareness over reaction, your entire lineage breathes a little easier. You're not just healing, you're rewriting the system from the inside out. As you decode these contractions, your body becomes the altar, and your awareness is the flame. What you notice is what you can change, and everything you transmute becomes light in your lineage. Every time you meet contraction with awareness, you're altering your epigenetic code by altering what your lineage passed down. Not only healing yourself, but also transforming what future generations will inherit. This is epigenetics in motion. Each time you decode a chakra, you switch off survival programs and simultaneously activate pathways filled with safety, trust, and truth. Your body literally becomes a vessel and conduit for your ancestors to ascend through you. We are going to pull a message from the Gateway of the Light activation deck for you and see what guidance you have or advice you have for what it is that could be surfacing during this time. What's your advice? Oh, we have 2 messages. Ooh. So, wow. Okay, first and foremost, you have the Lemurian star seeds. Okay, so Lemurian seed codes basically talks about your sensitivity being a gift, but this is also about the gift of discernment and discerning what is yours and also what it is that you have adopted. Okay, so embracing sensitivity, uniqueness, and living with grace. I'm going to read this for you. It reminds you of the Lemurian quartz crystal within the brain, where there is this sensitive electromagnetic field that you're attuned into. And this is I'm hearing the earth grid. It feels like the memory of the earth that you're accessing through the Akashic record. So it's the interconnected database that stores a living memory of the earth and all extensions of the earth that have moved upon her surface. Okay, that's what I'm seeing in the energy of the earth that has moved upon all extensions of her. And this body is composed up of the cells of planet Earth. So yeah, and because your organism is composed up of the cells of planet Earth, you also store the memory of every being that has walked amongst this planet. This is including the Lemurian civilization. That's also what this talks about, where they had trained things like alchemy in order to recover gifts within their generation that has been suppressed from emotions that have been unprocessed, and it almost becomes like a weighted blanket, almost like a slinky. You can think about DNA as almost a slinky, where if something heavy is seated upon it, it will contract. But the expansion happens and the recovery of what has been actually lain dormant within the DNA begins to activate the moment that we begin to clear up this dense debris and alchemize it. So I'm seeing the recovery of gifts, demonstratable gifts. It reminds me of DNA in my Cosmos Oracle message. I'll probably read the DNA card for you as well. But then you also have serious star blessings. So there's something that you are definitely being called to do. This could be about part of your mission, but this says yes, proceed, be seen, and push through. It's basically about a message of good luck, good fortune, and this encouragement in which you're receiving to do things that have been withheld from parallel existences, right? Past lives. You're getting to do something in this lifetime that you haven't before. And that's what Lemurian starseeds also talks about. So Lemuria was a civilization that was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean in ancient times. The inhabitants of this sacred land lived in complete harmony with nature and had a connection with every living being, similar to the movie Avatar. Their inner vision was fully activated to the point that where their pineal gland was fully developed and they could see for hundreds of miles in every direction, similar to as the sonar of dolphins and whales. The majority operated from the heart space, honoring one another and nature, so much that their civilization came to an end. And It is said that these highly attuned beings knew that their civilization would end and decided to send healing waves into another part of the world for future civilizations to benefit from. They telepathically channeled their frequencies into a thought form that would become crystals that would be found thousands, possibly millions of years later. I have chills. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. I have goosebumps. Who are you? Whoa. You know how we were speaking about the memory of the earth and the DNA of the earth? This is strongly. Oh. Sources experience itself as everything, okay? And everyone, because everything, all is one and one is all. So there is this collective memory. Oh my gosh, okay, let's continue. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I had this, no wonder we were guided to do this message on thought forms. So they telepathically channeled their frequency into a thought form that would become crystals that would be found thousands, possibly millions of years later. These Lemurian seeds are a type of quartz crystal mostly found in Brazil and Colombia. They are powerful crystals with similar barcodes engraved on their faces. They have a feminine receptive energy that is said to help us step into a more feminine way of being in order to help the evolution of species. Whew, you're a highly sensitive being. You might feel that this is a curse, but this card is here to let you know that it is a gift. If you've made it to this point, this is for you. It indicates that you have spent lifetimes upon lifetimes living with the giant shield up to stop the world from seeing the real you. But you're a highly unique soul with incredible gifts that are worth sharing. Through embracing your uniqueness, you can help many others embrace their own. This lifetime is more of a graceful existence with less defense and more trust. It feels like, again, like a collective memory because, again, your ancestors are also you. And there is this memory within your body around maybe it being unsafe to do this, unsafe to be vulnerable, and that vulnerability as you put yourself out, that will put something maybe that you guys are creating. I feel like you're creating something where other people are going to be able to intersect with something that you're doing in the present moment that's sending ripples through space and time and is going to be felt in the future, right? So it feels like momentum that's building. Again, intentions that you have, that your soul has. And that intention is a kinetic energy when supported with action in the physical realm. And that creates this velocity, this momentum. So it feels like a wave of energy that you're going to be riding through embracing your uniqueness. Anyway, this lifetime is more of a graceful existence with less defense and more trust. It's not about protecting yourself, but stepping into the space of surrender and revealing your true self. Ooh, let's go ahead and read Serious Star Blessings. Wow, what a beautiful message. This took a beautiful, unexpected turn. And I feel like that's something that you are going to be releasing into the world, even if it's this octave of self, right? So this talks about your message that comes with this gateway is a giant yes. It talks about Syrian star beings that come to us and it helps us find light in moments of darkness and uncertainty and to continue. If you feel connected with Sirius, it's likely that you're tied on a spiritual level and you'll feel a sense of homecoming when you look at the star. And again, with Sirius, these are other planetary star systems and quantum non-local connections because everything is existing simultaneously, right? So there are parallel streams that you're pulling forth, and I'm hearing like integrating these other dimensional fields where these octaves of yourself reside and you're retrieving that information and acting upon that in your third dimensional experience. But I'm seeing you anchor some kind of high level of awareness from these parallel simultaneous lifetimes that are playing out. Again, quantum non-local connections that you're entangled with and are somehow influencing the work that you're doing on planet Earth. So this message comes with the gateway of a big yes. Brings the energy of wishing on a star and seeing that wish come true. This is a time for you to move forward with any projects or ideas that you have felt called to carry out. There is an energy of positivity, abundance, and excitement surrounding you at this time. Whatever dreams you've been revisiting recently aren't dreams but premonitions. Know that whatever you're connecting with on the inside is soon to be something that you'll be experiencing in the physical. So think about what you desire instead of what you fear. See yourself celebrating as if your wildest dreams have already come true. And as you do so, you'll be creating the perfect energy for them to manifest in your world. Let's read DNA. I'm going to read DNA for you. A very specific energy from it, because it's a huge theme, right? So DNA is it's a big page, but it essentially says something's coming to the light. It connects us with the hereditary information and in turn the transmission of this information. There are ancestral patterns traveling through the quantum field towards us to reveal something or someone from our own lineage. Okay, that is also you. It's so interconnectedness to all things. Your ancestral lineage is this one body of consciousness. This can show itself in a positive way, such as the ability to channel hidden gifts and talents in the family, or those who have not been able to be shown before, as well as the repetition of patterns that must be healed as they travel towards us to come to the light. Connect with your inner self by taking 3 deep breaths. I'm going to allow you to do that. 1 deep breath. And on the exhale, breathe out everything that no longer belongs to you. And take a deep breath in, all the way down to the base of your spine, deep into your belly, regulating your nervous system. This activates your parasympathetic. And exhale, feel yourself becoming lighter and lighter. And take another deep breath in, all the way down to your spine, deep into the center of your belly. And on the exhale, feel yourself becoming formless, see yourself becoming light, see your light body. Remember yourself as a timeless, eternal being experiencing itself through form. And let's continue. So, you will then feel the information that needs to be healed and come from, oh, that's so crazy. I was going to say, put your hand on your heart. Put your hand on your heart, whoever feels guided. Connect with your inner self by taking those 3 breaths, and you'll feel the information that comes and that needs to be healed, and it will be shown from your heart space. If it is something which makes you feel bad, cutting the pattern is the way to heal and transform it. If you feel energy that comes with demonstrable gifts, enjoy the qualities that are given to you to bring forward the wisdom of your lineage. Cellular memory consists of the information which is stored in our bodies. What do we speak about today? Look at this. Cellular memory consists of the information which is stored in our bodies, emotional, spiritual, and energy. All life experiences, whether we remember them or not, leave a record in our cellular memory. This is how our body stores experiences that we have not lived, as it also connects us with the information we have received from our ancestors. To heal, this is the affected cells. You may want to work with amethyst, and also again, like infuse your water with positive intentions and then receive that. And to open the channel and receive the channel, you can place a stone in the center of your third eye, okay, between your eyebrows. That may help you connect with this energy further. Wow. This is how I like overlaying them now. I definitely do, because whoever needs, if you've made it to that point and then you receive that message, this is just going to be a huge confirmation. If you're willing to actually sit, integrate, embody, and not even learn, but remember how to work with this carbon-based life form, and you've incarnated into many, you're just getting to know this one. And you're remembering this one. There are certain things you're integrating and healing. We'll do a whole nother session on this, as far as how actually suppressing certain emotions will make certain information very, very hard to retrieve, because we're literally blocking ourselves off from timelines of experiences that we've had, because every emotion comes with a database of memory, and when we suppress that emotion, we're essentially cutting ourselves off from our own multidimensional, interdimensional, simultaneous lifetimes that we've had. It comes with the more alchemy that you do in this work, it's very exciting, because you're able to actually retrieve and remember a lot of your parallel and past lives and future lifetimes. So anyway, that's going to be a whole nother subject. I am sending you so much love. Yeah, just be kind with yourself, be patient with yourself through this process. Things are coming to the surface to be healed, so honor that stillness and know that in stillness what you need to hear will get loud. I'll speak to you very soon. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing, especially if you watched this through. We would I would be honoured to have you around. I know we would love to have you around, but I would be honoured. Personal reading details are also down below. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys very soon. Also check out Otter Spirit if you're looking for high quality AAA grade jewelry. 1/3 of the proceeds are donated towards otter sanctuaries, and you have crystal balls, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, all kind of different things, and you have 2 discount codes for that in the description box down below. That's the Otter Spirit symbol. Can you see that? But yeah, until next time.